Hello, everyone. This is Lawrence Watkins. I'm here with Al Duncan, and we're the co-founders of Great Pro Speakers. Al, what topic are we talking about today?
All right, so today we're going to talk about being a rock star. Do you need to be one? No, not to have a comfortable, successful six-figure speaking business. You don't need to be a rock star. Nothing wrong with being one if you are. Matter of fact, it provides you with a great advantage. However, you don't have to be one.
Yeah, and this is something I get a lot with working with great Black speakers. Is this idea that everyone needs to be, James Melanchek or Brendan Bouchard or a Dr. Mark Lamont Hill or even
Uh-huh.
Blake's my brother or just someone who has attained a high level of notoriety and fame in the
Right,
professional business. And the challenge is, and I know everyone wants to reach that level of plateau,
right.
um, or that particular level, but I think a main challenge is it's just not feasible for everyone. There's so much luck and so much timing that's involved with trying to
Yeah.
achieve that type of level. So we believe that it should be built on something different. Is that right?
Yeah, I agree. So a rock star is somebody. First of all, let's talk about what we mean by rock star. Rock
Hmm.
star is you're a celebrity. You're known outside of your target market or outside of your niche. You are someone who has an insane amount of video views on Facebook or YouTube. You got 10 million views or 5 million, 3 million views or something like that. You have some type of viral post or something that everybody's been downloading, everybody's been talking about. And so what happens is you become this rock star. You become so big that a lot more people would know you than would know the average person. That's what we mean by rock star. That is, you have a lot of fame to go along with maybe your fortune. Okay, so uh, the thing is I always thought, and I've always been taught, that it's a bad idea to build your business or your career based on extremes. And what I
Hmm.
mean by extremes are that simple as this. If you have a son or daughter and you're about to teach your son or daughter how to play basketball, you don't teach him or her to go out and first thing we're going to do is we're going to get you a court and we're going to start dunking like Jordan or LeBron, or Kobe. That's not what we're doing. First thing we're going to do is we're going to learn how to shoot a layup. We're going to learn
Hmm.
how to dribble, make some jump shots and do things of that nature. And it's like that in just about any industry. If you're going to be an attorney and you're going to school, whatever it is, you're going to be an accountant, there's always these crazy success stories in any industry that you look at. And there's nothing wrong with having them as inspiration. But when you want to model yourself, really want to figure out who you want to model yourself after, and you want to build a successful business in any industry, you want to start with the basics. The
Hmm.
basics, what they do is help you to be able to have a comfortable, successful business, even if you never hit that home run.
Hmm.
And there's another example, home in baseball. There's tons of successful baseball players who are not home run kings.
Hmm.
So you don't have to be a rock star. And sometimes we miss out on that and miss and overlook that little thing because I know for a fact, I know dozens of speakers who make high or mid-figure, six-figure businesses, and you never heard of them. I'm talking about people who make 400,000, $500,000 a year. Some people that make $1 million a year you never heard of, we can start running off speakers right now that the average person has never heard of. Speakers who don't even have 1,000 views on a video on YouTube, but yet and still they have managed to be extremely successful. So that is what we're getting at here. Is we want to give you some business basics, some sound principles, so that while you're swinging for the fences, and we hope you get a viral video or your book, sells 10 million copies or 25 million copies, you're the next chicken soup for the soul or whatever. We hope so. But in the meantime, let's not be broke. Let's
Yeah,
make some money.
And,
Okay.
and that's definitely true. And I agree with that so much, what you talk about in terms of not building your businesses off the extreme, because I just know so many people who get despondent, whether in the speaking industry or even in the startup world, which I am a part of as well. They get despondent when they don't reach the levels of Uber or Airbnb or Facebook,
Yes.
these really large billion-dollar companies. If you're not a unicorn, so a unicorn is basically a company that generates a billion or is valued at $1 billion. So if you're not a unicorn, you're a failure, and that's a common
Right.
a common belief amongst young startup individuals is that is the case, and the
Hmm.
same goes for the speaking industry too. And I agree with you about building your business and letting the chips fall where they may, and taking advantage of your opportunities, because a lot of it has to do with timing and luck and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And right now I want to talk to you about what that looks like. So what are some of the sound business principles that a person would build their brand off of in the speaking industry?
Yeah. So a lot of times, if I'm brought in to talk to athletes, it's in particular athletes, collegiate athletes, high school athletes, they're always one of the things they want to always stress to them is you should know your industry inside and out. So in other words, if you want to go to the NBA, great. However, let's look at all the careers that are revolved and involved with having a successful professional basketball team. Let's look at the accountants. Let's look at the owners. Let's look at the general manager. Let's look at the athletic trainers, the doctors, the people that are helping the athletes become more successful, because all of these things can help you lead to a successful career. Now, what I call that is understanding the needs and the problems of your target market. Okay, so you want to be a professional basketball player. Your target market is not just the fans. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually the whole professional sports industry. And what needs and problems do they have? They need trainers. They need coaches. They need people that can help. That can help sell tickets. Okay, things of that nature. They need announcers. They need people who can do marketing. So
Mm-hmm.
these are needs and problems that are in that particular industry. And if you, as a young athlete, understand and know those problems and needs and how they work and what could happen, even if you don't hit the home run, that is, I'm actually paid to be a professional basketball player. What can happen is you still have enough insight into that industry to create a career for you, or to have what we call a plan B, all right, that you can use to still take care of your family and have a successful life.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's important with knowing the problems and needs of your target audience, because
Hmm.
a lot of definitely those speakers that you mentioned that no one knows about, but are making $500,000 a year,
Yeah,
um, they know their target audience better than anyone, or else they wouldn't be able to convert the right people
right.
into their system, their funnel, and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and that leads me to, I guess, the next point in regards to making sure that you have a good sales funnel.
Yes.
So knowing marketing and operations and being able to um, you know how to convert someone from your landing page, or first, even before that, get them involved, whether it be SEO or content marketing, or
Hmm.
search engine marketing with pay-per-click ads or whatever, to the landing page, and then from the landing page to the email newsletter, then from the email newsletter to the contact request form, and then the personalized sales that kind of happens after that.
Right.
That takes a lot of work, but I think it's important for every speaker to know how to do, even if you are a rock star, because
Yeah.
the difference between being a rock star who is making money and a rock star who is right.
Right. We
Yeah,
see him all the time.
you see them all the time. I
Fame,
think
but no fortune.
yeah, I mean the New Edition documentary, or the New Edition movie, just aired on BET
Yeah.
ago, and you saw how much fame that they had, and how little money that they had at the same time when they came back from being on tour. So just because you are a rock star doesn't mean you're getting paid. So regardless, knowing how to set up a good sales funnel and good business deals, and good response time, that's another
Hmm.
thing,
Yes,
which
and
we
we
talked
talked
about in
about that. Yep.
in our last video. All that definitely plays a factor in terms of building a sustainable speaking business.
I agree. So really, what we are suggesting that you do, and we suggest this over and over again, and you hear people saying pick a niche, and grow rich. That's a standard phrase that's thrown out all the time. My thing is that you should just be constantly aware of the needs and problems of your target market, all right, and understand exactly how you provide a valuable solution for their needs or their problems. If you understand clearly how you provide that, then it's easier to get them into the sales funnel, okay? Because you're always thinking, how can I, what are the multiple different ways that I can make money off of this particular person while I help them out? Key, while I help them out, okay?
Right.
We're not just into making money off of people for the sake of making money. Not us. Unfortunately, I hear that in the speaking industry sometimes. People put out a shoddy product, or just hurry up and get a book out just so I can make some money off of it. But I believe you will have more long-term success if you provide more value. And also it's just good karma to help people out.
Yeah, and to go along with helping people out, I think it's important for you to know how you can particularly help someone out, right?
Yes.
And building your business and building your speaking, hopefully one day speaking empire around your own personality. So what do you think about that?
So yes. So here's my thing. And whenever somebody's getting started in the speaking industry, or they are a professional speaker, whether you're struggling or you're just trying to grow your business, I always separate it into two things. What are we focused on here? I know we want to do both, but which one are we selling? Are we selling the personality, or are we selling the products and services? Now, you can do both, but if you look at any successful speaker, then normally one of those is at the forefront. Okay, people are either known because you came up with a great program like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Now, I don't even know if off the top of your head, if you're watching this video, if you know the person the speaker who wrote that program, but it's a very successful program. A lot of people know Rich Dad Poor Dad, but they can't even say Robert Kiyosaki,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes you are selling or pushing the product forward, okay? And sometimes you're pushing your personality forward. Now, products have strengths, okay? Your product could be a high value, a high content product that shows a lot of how-to. It could be an inspirational product, okay? It could be like a video. It could be just inspiring. It could be a tearjerker or something like that. It could be extremely shareable. It makes people want to share it. Or you can have, a book or some audio program that provides a lot of how-to information, a step-by-step guide. Like, for instance, Great Pro Speakers fits in that category. It's very high-level how-to content. Okay, so you have to know the strengths of the content or the product that you're trying to sell, how it's going to relate best to your target market, and also your personality. Now, you could be selling your personality. That is, hey, I'm just a great looking woman. I have dynamic personality, right? People are always saying I should be a professional speaker. I captivate the room when I walk in there. And you know what? That's great. Or for some reason, people are just incredibly interested in who I am and what I do in life. Great. And those are some of the things that you can do to begin to cater to your strengths and put those things to the forefront, because that's what people are going to buy.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think about this from a personal standpoint as well. After I started Great Black Speakers, I started to think to myself that, I wanted to be a speaker personally, right?
Okay,
Go out
right.
and speak on entrepreneurship and self-development and give keynotes all around the nation. And I did for a little bit of time. I did do all of that. But, no matter how hard that I try, I would never be able to deliver a speech as good as you, as good as Mark Lamont Hill, as good as other people, many other speakers that are on the Great Black Speakers roster, right? So that's when I decided to create Great Pro Speakers instead, right? So I came to you with the idea of Great Pro Speakers, and I thought that you being a speaker and me having the knowledge, expertise regards to building a business system, that would be a great combination of knowledge that we can share with our audience. And it's been successful so far with Great Black Speakers and Great Pro Speakers. And it's because of the fact that we both play to our respective strengths. So just because you're not the best keynote doesn't mean there's not any room for you to share your knowledge.
Exactly. Yep, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Your example, and I'm always telling you, yeah, Lawrence, we got to get you out in front, get you talking, because a lot of people, you represent a big part of the market that says, well, I want to be a speaker, but I'm just not sure if I can razzle dazzle in front of the audience. And here's the thing. So what you did is it's really easy. You said maybe motivation and inspiration, and being super charismatic on stage is not my strength. However, how-to information is my strength. I am well-spoken. I do have enough knowledge about my area of expertise that makes you a subject matter expert or an SME. And you know what? People do pay for that, and people do want to hear that, because you know why? I do. I line up. I
Yeah.
don't need any motivation.
Mhm.
You know, when I'm looking for a speaker to listen to, I'm not listening to other motivational speakers or
Mhm.
people that give me a lot of inspiration every now and then, but it's just not what I need. I'm
Mhm.
listening for high level how to content,
Mhm.
because that's what I need. I need nuts and bolts and things that I can use to push forward and things I can do. How can I use my money now that I have some? You know, things of that
Right.
nature. You know, how can I add another product or service? And so that clearly shows that you don't need to be a rock star to make a lot of money. And you know, there's plenty of other examples. We're talking about you and I, but you were mentioning somebody the other day, Lawrence. We're talking about, her name is Awesomely Lovey.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Lovey. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a great example, and she's getting out there doing more speaking now. And she has a New York Times bestseller book. I can't think of the name of it right now. Or Yes, I'm Judging You. I think that's what it's called. But she's a very
Okay.
diverse type of speaker, but who started out. She built her entire audience, or most of her audience, via her blog and her writing,
Hmm.
and then transitioned that to actual speaking.
Yeah.
And that leads us to our next point in regards to knowing how to play to your strengths.
Yeah.
And like so, and we talked about that already, but then let's talk about what some of those strengths may be. So someone like you, so what, a dynamic speaker. What else can you
Yeah,
talk
so you're going to have a combination of strengths, and when they come together, that should make you a unique speaker. I am. I always tell people I'm unique in that, in my experience, you don't always find a guy who can go do the rah rah motivational inspirational talk, but also has high level content. So what
about?
happens is I found a nice crossroads for me, and that is when I'm going into schools, I'm going to talk to educators or parents, or anybody in the education industry. What happens is that they stop bringing me in for only keynotes. Actually, in the last 3 to 4 years, most of the time I'm brought in is for 3 hour or half-day seminars, even more than keynotes, and I'm making more money off of those. And the reason they bring me in is because I have enough energy. I'm engaging enough to keep the audience, keep them captivated for that length of time. But more importantly, I have developed a system, dealing with soft skills and things of this nature, and communication, especially how you can communicate with young people. I call it the magic of exceptional communication with young people. And so uh, I have enough content that is actionable steps, things people can take away and actually put to use, so that they can leave not only feel inspired, motivated, or energized, because I'm going to do that whole thing. I can't help it. That's my personality. But it also has some high level content. So for me, two of those strengths in there that I play to were being an engaging and interactive speaker with a strong conversational style and high level content. And when I
Mhm.
put those together, it helped me to establish a great speaking business without being a rock star. I don't have one video on YouTube that has more than maybe 5,000 views. Now, here's one reason people don't realize that is because my videos are used by dozens and over a few dozen school districts, and
Mhm.
schools, and a few different foster care organizations and workforce development organizations. What they do is they take my short little Dunkin' Nuggets, and a lot of times they start off the day with them. They play them at the beginning of a meeting, play them at the beginning of the school day, or they're using them as part of the after school program. Well, what I found out is that a lot of these programs, the young people don't have access to YouTube. They can't even watch the video. So my
Mhm.
videos on YouTube were doing me no good. When I took them
Mhm.
and I put them on my own server using Amazon S3, using and I hosted them myself, all of a sudden, oh no, my videos have tens of thousands of views. You just
Right.
can't see them on YouTube. So it has the look of not being a rock star, but yet and still decision makers and students and parents are looking at those videos, and therefore I can generate income. So those are some of the strengths that you can play to. Like I said, you can be an inspirational, captivating, engaging speaker.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, those are a lot more rare than you
Yeah.
think they are. Everybody wants to be one.
Mhm.
I've seen it. Everybody wants to be one, and I can understand why. But you have to be careful about your definition of an engaging, captivating speaker. You don't have to be super dynamic and charismatic. You can be extremely engaging and captivating because of your content and just because
Mhm.
you're a good storyteller and interactive with the audience. All right.
Right.
So there's one. Then you have the content expert. That's what I like to call them. Subject matter expert. I know my stuff. I
Mhm.
just know myself. Very few people on the planet know myself like I know myself. And when I hear people talking like that, I say, well, you know what? You can probably get paid if you can
Right.
package it right. If you can deliver it right, you can probably get paid because people like to play for a high level of content, you know.
Right.
And what other strengths did we talk about, Lawrence? There was some more that you jotted
Some
down.
people are really good at Q&A. That's another
Yes.
thing. Yeah, yeah. So that's someone who's a high level subject matter expert who doesn't necessarily have a lot of structure, but if you just ask them a random question on the fly, um, they can give you some great content. And in fact, when I was in business school, I had a professor like that. So shout out to Professor Ben Ho.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's his name. And now I think he's at Vassar College or something. But he was not the best public speaker. And I think the first day of class, I had it for two classes. I almost dropped his class because
Wow.
he was, stuttering through all the words like on the first couple of days of class. And I was like,
Okay.
I can't like listen to this for the entire semester. But then he became my favorite professor in business school.
Huh.
Yeah, because or one of my two favorites, but and the reason that he became one of my favorites was I could ask him any question on the fly about a hypothetical scenario, and he could go through the economics of that particular problem and outline everything that a strategy on terms of how to approach that problem for it to be solved. From what we were learning in class, and not a lot of professors are able to do that, especially to that same type of level. So when it comes to me asking a question, him answering it, that's why he, became my favorite professor just off of that one skill alone.
Yeah, being able to take the information and synthesize his knowledge, put it into
Hmm.
actionable steps for you. And
Hmm.
I agree. A lot of people have the expertise, they have the information, but if you come ask them a question or if they're trying to teach someone else how to apply it or use it, they can't do it.
Hmm.
And I'm with you. I will listen to I'm not going to necessarily sit through a keynote with a boring speaker. But if you're more of a slow pace and a speaker who I say is not a bunch of excitement and rah rah, but I hear some high level content, I'm like, oh, I can make money off of this. This is very valuable for me. You're gonna have my attention. You're gonna have
Hmm.
my attention. The people always get confused sometimes with thinking that because you're flying all over the place and boom, you're hitting them with all these, great
Hmm.
quotes and great quotes, and you're up there being super energetic. That it means you're not boring. That's not true.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I've been in a lot of conferences and I've seen some speakers up on the stage where they thought because they were so over the top and boomy, that they were actually engaging or being exciting and interesting to the audience, and they weren't.
Hmm.
And so you can't take that for granted. Q&A is a great way to engage the listener. If
Hmm.
they can ask you a question and you can give a tangible answer, I have to agree with you that that is a priceless strength. So if you're one of those people, you're a professor, or someone who's a teacher, and you're used to taking answers back and forth and interacting with your students, I, you tend to have great success in the industry if your brand is strong and you package your products and services correctly.
Right.
Yep.
So there we go. And we also talked about systems development, and of
Yeah.
course, my strength more than all my other strengths. But so
Yeah.
I kind of just started working behind the scenes, behind the camera, in terms of booking gigs for other speakers because that's something that I was great at. So, uh,
Hmm.
but so I guess the main point is there are a lot of different ways that you can be successful in the speaking industry.
Yes.
And you may or may not become a rock star. We definitely hope that you become a rock star, and
Yeah.
hopefully great programs help get you there. But if you don't be despondent, don't be discouraged, because it's very difficult to do. And a lot of the things that it takes, to make that level of success happen is not directly in your control as well. So.
Hmm. Yep, I agree. You don't have to be a rock star to be paid. That's all I'm trying to say. And we strongly emphasize, do not build your business on the extremes,
Right.
because you can build a successful, as I said earlier, six-figure speaking business. And Lawrence and I were joking, laughing and joking before we started recording. Trust me, making six figures as a speaker is a lot different than making six figures as an employee.
Right.
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
The money is just a lot different, and the time is a lot different as well. So
Right.
that, in a nutshell, is a great pro tip that we hope you won't gloss over.
Hmm.
Because once again, I know everybody wants to be a rock star. Most speakers have, a lot of speakers, I should say, have big personalities, and you kind of want to get out there and deliver your message, and just realize that you don't have to be a rock star initially in order to get your message across and to cash some paychecks.
Heard
Yep.
that. So
All
thank you
right.
for being
So
there.
yeah, so I tell you what, we had fun with you all as always. Once again, my name is Al Duncan on behalf of Lawrence Watkins. Thank you for listening to another great pro tip. We will see you all soon. Until then, be safe, be well, and be blessed.
All right.